Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel, and in today's video we're going to be going through one of our workouts from one of our 3-day training programs using our metabolic training method. Now this workout is going to be our upper horizontal workout, focusing on chest, back and a little bit of arms. Now if you don't know who I am, my name is Harry Knights and I am the owner of Lean for Life Coaching, where we specialise in getting high performing men over 30 into the shape of their life, dropping pounds of body fat, building lean muscle, whilst making it work for their real life, without the hours of cardio, without the restrictive diets, and making it suit them, their lifestyle, their family and their careers. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Now the first movement we're going to do is a standing cable chest fly. Now, in all honesty, what we actually want here is cables that are closer together, but we'll make it work. Now with the chest fly, I prefer a cable or a machine fly rather than something like dumbbells, because with the machine and the cables, there's constant tension applied to the chest throughout the movement. And one of the key things that we're looking out for with any fly variation is you don't want to be bringing your wrists and hands together. You see a lot of people go very heavy and they have this kind of like crabbing motion, but that's not actually going to be working any of the chest. You want to focus on driving the elbows together and trying to imagine in your head, trying to get that bicep through your chest. So you'll see here in this set here, that's the key focus, okay? Slow and controlled in that eccentric phase. And then when we drive together, we're thinking about elbows together, biceps together, not our wrists and hands. One of the other key things to focus on with this movement is the actual tempo of it. Now I like a 3-1-1 tempo. Now what I mean by that is 3 seconds on that eccentric, so 3, 2, 1. 1 second in the stretch position here, and then 1 second squeeze at that top point here, as I was mentioning earlier. So 3-1-1 tempo, slow it down, don't go too heavy, don't ego lift, slow it down and really work that chest. Now the second exercise we're gonna go into is our incline dumbbell chest press to build that upper chest. Now I prefer doing dumbbells for this movement because you get better range of motion. You aren't in like a fixed position where you would be with like a barbell, and you want to make sure, as you'll see here, we don't want to be flaring our elbows out here when we're pressing. You want to tuck your elbows in here and press overhead like so. Again, nice and controlled eccentric phase before going back into that next rep. So don't flare those elbows out here like this, tuck them in and press like so. So obviously we've been doing a lot of horizontal pressing and obviously the fly movement. We're now going to go into more horizontal pulling. So starting off with the barbell row here, bent over barbell row, a movement that is butchered quite a lot, that I see in the gym all the time. I see a lot of people not getting this movement right. The back's curved over, they're not driving the elbows back towards sort of your hips and back pockets. So we want to make sure spine is in that sort of neutral position, driving the elbows back into the hip and back pocket region, slow on the way back through, slow eccentric. So let's get into that set and I'll show you how it's done. So what I was referring to earlier is how many people rounding at the back, driving the bar quickly, no control, no squeeze. Instead, you want to make sure that spine is in that neutral position. You drive the elbows back to hips and back pockets, slow on the way through and drive back again. So the next back focused exercise that we're doing here is going to be our single arm cable row. Now the goal here is to drive that elbow right down into your hip and your back pocket and almost try and imagine in your head wrapping that elbow around your spine. It's going to really bring those lower lats into play here. Now you see a lot of people, and look, there's nothing wrong with this particular movement, but you see a lot of people using the close grip in gyms. And look, if you don't have the option to use a D handle or split it up, then the close grip can be absolutely fine and you can still work those lats. But you see what I mean when I say you're kind of stuck here and you can't wrap that elbow right around your rib cage and your spine. You're in this, again, limited range of motion. You're still going to work the back, don't get me wrong, and it's still going to be a fantastic movement. But the difference when you use the D handle, you just have that ability to be able to really focus on getting the elbow right back, get the lats nice and short here, slow and controlled in that eccentric phase as well. So that's why I prefer doing the single arm as opposed to the close grip. So after our single arm cable row, we're going to go straight into some triceps. Now, dual rope tricep extension. If you haven't watched the previous video where I talk about the reason why we do a dual rope extension, you'll see why. So the reason we're doing dual rope is because we have a much greater range of motion. You can really drive the hands back past towards your legs and get the tricep nice and short here. Slow and controlled on the eccentric, fully lengthened position here, the triceps before driving back through. And you just get a much greater range of motion when you use the dual ropes. Whereas if you only actually use one rope, you'll see here, we're in a much more fixed position, a much more sort of restricted position, we can't get the tricep fully short. We're not really able to access that kind of full range of motion that we would if we were using dual ropes. The other thing to mention with the tricep extension, you see a lot of people using too much momentum, too much of the upper arm to pull the weights down. You want to keep the upper arm fixed, tight to the rib cage, and we're just hinging at the elbows. You see how the upper arm doesn't actually move during this. We want to really focus on pulling that weight with just the tricep and really isolating it there. Now to finish off this hot, muggy, humid upper horizontal workout, we're going to be finishing off with some cable rear delt flies. Now you can do this movement on the cable rear delt fly machine, you know, the opposite of what you would do with the pec fly machine. That's fantastic. You can do this dual cable if you had a close cable stack and you come across. We've got the single cable stack here. Now you want to bring the actual cable stack down. You don't want it starting right at the top. You want to bring it down to around sort of shoulder height here. Now you want to brace up against the stack itself, and then it's not the case of just, you know, flying out to the side. You actually want to fly out and down. So it's like on that slight angle there. So rather than directly out to the side, we're flying out and down. And you're going to really work those rear delts doing it that way. Again, it's not a movement that we're going to go very, very heavy on. We're isolating the rear delts here. So literally 10 kilo on the stack, nice and slow and controlled, really focusing on tempo here, not ego lifting. We're going to build up those rear delts. So there we have it, a full upper horizontal session. Now, with all of these movements, what we have to focus on every single week is applying that progressive overload. Every week looking to get stronger, looking to add more reps, looking to add more weight, and really challenge yourself to progress. Okay, otherwise you're not going to build the lean muscle that you want to. Then when it comes to losing body fat, make sure you're in that calorie deficit. Now, if you want a little bit more information on how we can help you one-to-one, like we have with over 700 high-performing men over 30, as you can see from the results on screen. If you want a bit more information on how we can help you one-to-one, just click the link down below. There's a free video to watch there, which goes through our metabolic mastery method in a lot more detail. It's going to give you a ton of value. And if you feel like you want to work with us one-to-one, just book a call at the end of that video. And I look forward to seeing you on that call and having a good chat about your goals and where you want to go. But I appreciate you watching. Make sure you subscribe. Any questions, just drop them in the comments below. And I'll see you in the next video.